Find out what's going on. Get involved. Change things from the inside. Make a difference. Take pride. Multicultural at its best. The Luisa Marshall Show. Coming up.
Today, all news seem to the best Season 8. On Spotlight, Artifacts of Freedom. We're taking you all to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, where we stopped for a couple of days to raise Canadian veterans' PTSD Awareness. Hope Beyond Thunderdome Tour 2016. The shows were successful and we met some amazing people. One of them is Chuck Lochel, who's originally from Philadelphia, served 8 years in the U.S. Air Force during the Vietnam War. Chuck was really cool enough to show us the artifacts and memorabilia inside the museum. It was an unexpected experience that we will remember in a long, long time.
Yes.
All these coming up. Hello. You are about to witness a special part of my journey across Canada. We are excited to bring you all to a historical experience. It's a hidden gem in the basement of Nutana Legion, Branch 362, where World War artifacts and memorabilia are on display. Our friend Chuck, Chuck is so wonderful to bring us to a blast from the past. Hi everybody, we're in Saskatoon.
Basement of the Nutana Legion, Branch 362, in the Artifacts Room, or otherwise known as the museum.
So this is your museum.
This is our museum, yes, the Nutana Legion's museum.
This is amazing, Chuck.
Best kept secret in Saskatoon, it seems like.
The best kept secret.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I was so blown away when I came down here and I seen all these artifacts from World War I.
And even the Boer War. We have a few items from the Boer War prior to that. First time the Canadians fought together. Yes, in the 1800s. It's the Boer War.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know anything about that. Oh, jeez.
You learn a lot when you come down here.
Yes, so I'm really learning a lot from you, Chuck. Okay, so maybe you should take us around.
This is our entrance right here. Our sign-in book. We're going to get you to sign this before you leave here. And what we started off with, let's start off with our trench. We have a model of a trench, World War I trench right over here. That a replica of what the soldiers were forced to fight in during the First World War. And we actually have a few pets in there too, a couple of what they call rats, field vermin. Yes, You can see the soldiers in here. This would be called no man's land over here. You can see the barbed wire, the shell holes in here. The Saskatoon Modelers Club actually made this up for us. And they came right down very, very good detail. They even have the machine gun bullets. There's a machine gun down here, a Lewis gun. The shell holes filled with water. It was very muddy. Also, you can probably see they even included a couple of poppies in here throughout the thing. They had a handmade this wire, and there were three rats in here, and then the sandbags to protect the office and the operations room, so we say. There's one down here. Maybe you can get a shot of this guy here. You can see one of the rats down here if you can focus on it. But there are 5 up in the rafters and stuff like that. But there's one guy right down here. And you can see how they have the trenches all laid out, and they're all in lines, and then the fill-in trenches that you can see. So this is where they would direct the operations. Of course, it was a very stagnant war. Mm-hmm. We did not move back and forth very much during that time, so they had to learn to live in these conditions here. Here's a German prisoner that they've caught in here, and this is where they slept, actually, in a bunker underneath the parapet. Wow. So you can see they're all awake right now. But,
they're all awake. Oh my.
But this is a D-Day invasion. Look at the detail that they went into in this here item here. This is fascinating stuff that these guys can do. So it gives you an idea of what the actual conditions were at the time. Over here, we're going to move along because we have a lot to see.
Yes.
Here is the Book of Remembrance. This is only the Second World War dead, names of the dead in here. The original is in Ottawa. We have a copy of it, and it goes from through 1939 to the end of the war, 1944.
Wow, my hair is standing. My hair is standing. Wow, this is really cool.
It's amazing what we lost. So, local members who we lost during the war.
For the locals.
Yeah, yes. So this is kind of our honor roll, but mostly we're trying to point out the Saskatoon content.
Yes.
Here but killed in action 42, 43. But this here's all of our boys and girls. This is a replica of a World War I nursing sisters uniform, and that's what they actually wore. Of course, she's going on duty right now, but she's clean. World War I stretcher. Some pictures of the camps and training camps and stuff like that you can see through here. And this is very important. This is the only second complete or almost complete field hospital general operating kit. See, it's all wrapped up. This were the instruments that the surgeons worked on the men with. It's not modern day science, and it's not modern day medicine. You can see pullers, forceps, saws, hammers, bone cutters, and there's more stuff underneath here too. So this is only the second one that we know of that's in existence here. Just scary when you look at what they had to go through. And morphine was not always available, nor was there tot of rum. An officer's, a World War I officer's uniform, and you can see the different firearms that were used. Oh, let me stop right here. This was the replica. This is a Ross rifle, which was Canadian made for our forces, and it was a excellent arm, but it was not a battlefield arm. It was too precision made, It got dirty in the trenches, muddy. The snipers loved them because they could do what they want. They could keep their weapons clean. The doughboys that we saw over there, they had to work in the mud and the dirt and everything else. So as soon as they could, they ditched this rifle and went to the British-made Enfield, the number 1. Okay? It was a better battlefield instrument because it worked in the mud. Okay, that's why. It was not as accurate as this here, but like I say, the snipers like this one here better because they're snipers. This is some examples of trench art in here. I don't know whether you can get good shots of it, but they would decorate the little shells, casings, okay, and do their little things on it. They etched them and add bullets and stuff to them here. Here's some more brass. Guy made an airplane out of it. It's called trench art.
Wow.
So
That's very intricate.
when they weren't shooting at each other, they had to do something. So somebody said, well, some guys were very artistically inclined. Different uniforms. A little section here about the Regina rifles, their medals, and stuff that they would wear into battle in the Regina Rifle Regiment of Canada. Some more rifles over here. These are some of the badges that the different regiments and stuff during World War I, and you can see they all had their own insignia, so to speak, here. Some pictures of some people that we lost, or what medals that they had. 5 people, certificate of service, 5 brothers in the service. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. This here's the McLean clan here, over here. All the medals that the boys won. So we have quite an extensive selection or collection of that. These big brass things that you see here, they're called death pennies. During the war, if a mother lost a son or a family lost a son, they were issued what they called a death penny. Their name is engraved on the side of it, on the edge, the rivet of it, and some people saw fit to include them in our museum because somehow the family doesn't want them anymore. But anyhow, it's a good place for them to be right now instead of going. Exactly. These are World War I medals here, the Victoria Cross, and they're all identified. We have a book over here that will identify which medal is which and stuff like that. These are World War II insignia, unit insignias and stuff like that. World War II medals over here. We'll move here, but if we can just step back enough, we can see the colors and the badges here that they have here of the different units. Each one was a division. So if you were in the 1st Division, remember the shoulder patch I showed you before? He had a red patch on his shoulder. Blue, light blue, dark green. And that's how they went. And we're identifying all the medals. Some of the guys got one, some guys got a bunch.
Don't go away. There are more memorabilia coming up.
Memorabilia up here too, with the different divisions. But during the first, let me skip back to the First World War. There were 4 divisions during the First World War, and Vimy Ridge was the first time that all 4 groups fought together. It was what they call the beginning of Canada as a nation. The French tried to take it, Vimy Ridge first. Then the British tried to take it, they failed. Finally, somebody came up after a year or 2 of trying to take this place, put all 4 Canadians together, and eventually they got to take it. There's a big memorial there now, and they say that was when Canada became a nation officially. Okay. Again, more memorabilia, hat badges, shoulder flashes, Perth Regiment, Royal Canadian Regiment here, the Corps, the 5th Division. During the Second World War, we had 5 divisions, but in the first, there was only 4 divisions. We have some artifacts from the airborne regiments, and we also have, this is kind of mixed up right now because we have some U.S. stuff mixed in with the Canadian, but we will get that sorted out. Models of the different fellas here. This is some more Canadian stuff here. We're starting on a little section of, this is the American section here, American helmet thing, and even a Civil War kepi in there, Navy hat. But we're expanding on the U.S. stuff because we're getting some stuff in. Again, World War II uniform. You can feel how heavy this material was. Yes, and wool is actually cool in the summer too. Yeah, and it dries faster too when you get wet. So instead of,
I didn't know that.
Instead of canvas and stuff
Yes.
like that. So wool was a very popular uniform garment here. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, these are all originals and
1914 to 1915, Steve.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, and the panoramas that they used to do with those cameras and stuff like that. And with canvases, I don't know right now, but anyhow. You could spend hours down here just looking at stuff here.
Yes.
The various handguns, these are
Oh,
all
wow.
German handguns right down here. The Lugers, the Walther P38, or PP, which was an officer's gun. The German Lugers, the German P38s, more Lugers down here. Current corporal's uniform, unified forces here. Korean War paratroopers outfit. He is this is one of our members here. He got out of the service, became a local policeman, dog handler actually he became. I knew this man, or not this man, but the man who wore that uniform. Yes. Some German machine guns. This is the German submachine gun, the Schmeiser. Some broom handle Mausers. They called them broom handles because the end of the handle actually looked like the end of a broom. Assorted pistols, some military, some not. You've heard of the Sten gun and the Bren gun that the soldiers used. We have all 3 mark of the. So there were three different models, which meant either ease of manufacture or costliness of manufacture. Okay, as they went through this, so they could make more cheaper. That's how they got the Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. So there are different models. And then the Bren gun, which was their light machine gun here, and another Enfield. That would be a number 4 Enfield. Number 4 Enfield. That would be the Second World War Enfield, as opposed to the number 1 Enfield used during the First World War. Right there.
Gangster's gun. Wow.
They were used during the war, and the U.S. manufactured them and sent them. They were used by the commandos of the Germans. This here is a Uzi, Israeli Uzi.
Uzi.
Yeah, okay. And that's a replica of the U.S. model 1911, the Colt 45. Used during the Second World War and the First World War. Well, we have a display of, well, here's some shells that they would shoot out of the cannon and stuff like that. These things here were very heavy and took quite a bit of power to move them out and created quite a bit of destruction. Unfortunately, we have a bayonet connection, close encounter weapons, but they're all identified as to which country they belong to and who used them. There's German, U.S., I think there's a Japanese in there. There's, what do you call them, the Indian Kirkis in there.
close encounters
kind. Yes.
of the worst kind.
Some kits that they have, these things, little things here would be what they call the dog tags, ID tags, bracelets, and things so that you could identify the soldier if he was found in the field after the battle. But we have, somebody's made a bunch of models. We're working around to that, models of all the tanks, mechanized personnel carriers and stuff. There is a World War I German machine gun. It's called a Spandau. It was designed by an American by the name of Maxim, and the Germans adopted it for their field machine gun there. Yeah, so scary. We're sorting through all these uniforms here because we have some duplicates and we just don't have enough of them here. So we will be displaying them a little bit better so we can see which units they were, the different ranks and stuff like that. You can see the ranks, the color patches that I pointed out to you on the sleeves, which divisions they were in. Another little diorama done by the Modelers Club, Saskatoon Modelers Club, and you can see all the different hat badges and stuff here. Here is our little display on Korea. Actually, this is very interesting and some people do not know about it. We have native soldiers. Obviously, we had native soldiers during the war, both world wars. And these were, the most interesting to me were not only were they very highly decorated, the native, this is a replica of one of the native soldiers in his awards, but they had code talkers then. The code talkers, because they used the natives in the Second World War, the Americans used the Navajo and the Canadians used the Dene. Now they would speak in their own language to talk back and forth because the Germans could pick up the transmissions and say, well, we're going to hit Hill 432 next week. And the Germans would prepare for that. But if they spoke in Dene to each other and then they would translate to the English what they were doing, they could not understand. So the code talkers were a very secret or very important part of the operations. And like I say, the Navajo did it for the U.S. too, for the soldiers too. When they didn't have patrol cars to run around in, they had to walk around the streets, and this is what they were, buffalo coats.
Chuck and I will be back next week for much more interesting artifacts.
One of the things that amazes me most is that the women, they could fly a fighter one day, a bomber another day, and maybe a transport plane the next day. They were quite a boon to the war effort, shall we say. So the women in the Air Force and they were just auxiliary people.